Greetings and welcome to another Warhammer 40,000 Kill Team video, where today I'll go over Fellgor Ravagers for Kill Team from the Gallowfall box set. But thanks goes to Games Workshop for providing these to review for free. As always, I aim to be honest, impartial and constructively critical. And before we get on with things, please remember to like and subscribe as well as comment. Let me know what you thought of today's video. Did you like it? Hate it? Let me know. And remember, I've got a Discord you can check out in the episode description below for free, as well as an affiliate link at Element Games if you want to buy these guys, and a Patreon if you want to give me some more support. But yeah, I'm reviewing Fellgor Ravagers, the Beastmen in Space Kill Team from Gallowfall, which you can hopefully buy, and it sees Beastmen returning to the game properly. They were first in Blackstone Fortress, but now, well, you know, and in Necromunda, and originally in Rogue Trader, but now they're back as a full kill team in Warhammer 40,000 Kill Team. Will they be good? Will they be bad? Let's get on with the video. Yay! Fellgor Ravagers, Fellgor Ravager Kill Team has the archetype Recon and Seek and Destroy, which is probably the best mix at the moment because Seek and Destroy is amazing and Recon's really good as well. You have an Ironhorn, which is your leader, who can either have a corrupted pistol and a corrupted chainsword, or somehow a plasma pistol and bludgeon. I don't know how the Beastmen found a plasma pistol, but let's just go with it. Obviously, you're probably going to go with plasma pistol and bludgeon. Then you've got 9 other operatives, so you have a 10 operative kill team, right? So you have all those other operatives, and then you have a normal warrior, which you will probably never take because you have 9 unique operatives and a 10th warrior, and you get 10 in the kit. So you are definitely building 1 leader and 9 other specialists. For Tac Ops, you have Faction Tac Op 1, Fellgor Champion. You can reveal this Tac Op when a friendly operative incapacitates an enemy operative in combat. If that friendly operative incapacitates another enemy operative in combat, you score a victory point. If you achieve this condition again, you score another victory point. So if someone kills 3 operatives, you get 2 victory points. If you kill 2, you gain 1, but you have to reveal it after you've killed 1 operative. It's probably their best Tac Op, I would say, so far, and it will make sense when you see the rest of the review. Then you have Scorn Their Ways. Reveal this Tac Op in the target reveal step of the first turning point. Select 1 enemy operative equipped with a ranged weapon that has a normal damage potential of 17 or more. This is its normal damage characteristic multiplied by its attack characteristic. If the weapon has more than 1 profile, only one of them needs to fulfill this. So even if they have a weaker one, if the stronger one does, it's fine. If that operative is incapacitated by a friendly operative within red of it, you score 1 victory point. If that enemy operative was incapacitated by a friendly operative within an engagement range, you score 1 victory point. So you have to reveal this in the first turning point, but as long as you kill that operative in melee, you get 2 victory points. And, you know, basically, you have to pick something with 4 dice doing 5 damage or more, which is a plasma or melter, or with like 5 dice doing 4 damage. Like, depending on who you play against, like this is easy against Pathfinders. Super easy. And even against Vet Guard, because you just pick their melter and then they go, oh, I won't use my melter. It's like, I will eventually get to your melter. Crazy. Very, very kill team specific, but crazy good. Then you've got Relentless Aggression. Reveal this at the end of any turning point. At the end of any turning point, if 5 or more friendly operatives are within red of the enemy operatives and or your opponent's drop zone, you score 1 victory point. And if you score this condition again, you do another. This is not too bad, but weird. Like, I would say this is more turning point 3/4 Tac Op, because you just reveal this, but it's relying on you having 5 or more operatives, and generally you're either picking Fellgor Champion or Scorn Their Ways. Now we get to the kill team abilities. So, you know, while you read this, I'm going to explain it, but I thought, you know, Fellgor's Ravagers, they're 10 Beastmen, they have no ranged potential effectively. They're either going to be really, really bad or horrifically broken, but I think they're just going to be slightly bad, you know, with some buffs, you know, in the future. I was so wrong. They are absolutely bent. So their key ability is Frenzy. Each time a friendly operative without a Frenzy token would be incapacitated, it gains a Frenzy token instead. If it was fighting in combat, all remaining attack dice, including your opponent's, are discarded. If it has a conceal order, change it to Engage. While a friendly operative has a Frenzy token, it is only incapacitated as specified opposite. It cannot have a conceal order, it's injured, and it cannot perform mission actions or pickup actions. A friendly operative with a frenzy token is incapacitated when only one of the following conditions are met. It's the end of its activation. An enemy operative strikes it with a critical hit in combat. An enemy operative strikes it with a second normal hit in combat. Note that it doesn't have to be in the same combat, and it can be two different ones, or the battle ends. This ability is broken. It's just plain broken. And all I can think is that I guess when during playtesting they had a trouble getting in with this kill team, and then they gave them frenzy. And it's just busted. I can't describe it in any other way. It's just a broken ability. Once you are incapacitated and have a frenzy token, you're not incapacitated. You don't get incapacitated, so it shuts down like the Drukhari abilities. Any Tac Ops, any rules that trigger off incapacitating don't work. And then they only die if their activation ends. So if they die during their own activation and they frenzy, they will get a frenzy token then. It doesn't explain what happens if you die mid-move, but I guess what happens if you walk into a mine, blow up? Do you keep moving or do you stop and resurrect there? You cannot die from shooting while you are frenzied, so you can do crazy stuff like first activation, charge onto the point, charge two guys, kill one, yeah? Your opponent now has the option, let's say they were guardsmen, to fight you and die or just fall back. Then they shoot you and eventually kill you, and they now have to charge you and roll a crit in combat or 2 hits to properly kill you. Because while you can't do mission actions or pickup actions, you're still controlling objectives. So you will live. And assuming they don't charge you, if you theoretically activated the operative last at the end of turning point 3, he has lived for over a turning point, like nearly 2 turning points. Just being invincible. You can shoot him, it will do nothing. It's absolutely crazy. And then the fact you have to strike them with a crit in combat or 2 hits is not good when you see their profile. And the fact, I understand it has to trigger from shooting. That's fine. They have no ranged ability. That's okay, I can get. If you charge and fight them, they will trigger frenzy as well, which makes no sense to me. It's like, surely you want to punish people for not getting into combat. Now you're punishing people for charging this kill team. It's absolutely bizarre, but I could rant about frenzy for ages. It's just broken, and it'll get worse as we go on. So next we have the Ploys. So for the strategic Ploys, you've got Violent Temperament. Until the end of the turning point, each time a friendly operative fights in combat, in the roll attack dice step, you can use its Violent Temperament. If you do, you must reroll all of your attack dice, so you can't reroll some. So it's like Relentless but worse, because in Relentless you can pick and choose the dice you reroll. This one you have to reroll everything. So I think that's actually fair. That's fine. Then you've got Ambush. Until the end of the turning point, each time a friendly operative is activated, when its order is changed from concealed to engage, it's ambushing for that activation. Each time a friendly operative ambushing fights in combat, in the roll attack dice step of that combat, you can obtain one of your normal hits as a crit instead. Note if it orders a frenzy token, you cannot ambush. So it's some nice way to push through crit damage. I think that's fair. Then you've got Pelting Firepower. Each time after a friendly operative makes a shooting attack against an enemy operative, the enemy operative gains one of your pelted tokens. Each time a friendly operative makes a shooting attack against the enemy operative, for each of your pelted tokens the enemy operative has, add 1 to both its damage characteristics of that friendly operative's weapon to a maximum of 5, 6. At the end of the turning point, remove your pelted tokens. Your shooting is quite rubbish, so this is just like a meme thing, I would say. It's not bad, but it's okay. Then you've got Reckless Determination. Until the end of the turning point, each time a shooting attack is made against a friendly operative that is not ready, so if they've already activated, in the roll defense dice step of your shooting attack before rolling any defense dice, you can retain 1 without rolling it. Then you've got Tactical Ploys. So for Ruthless Rampage for 1 CP, use this after a friendly operative performs a fight action. It can immediately perform a free charge action, even if it performed a charge action during its activation, but can only move up to blue. Note you cannot perform this charge if it's already within engagement range of an enemy operative. So basically, if you charge and kill, you can spend a CP to do a free dash and charge, and fight again, if you have the AP. Wild Rage. Use this tactical ploy when a friendly operative is activated. Until the end of the activation, you get +1 black to your movement. So you basically can charge 9 inches or move 7 inches and dash free. Really good. Then you've got Animalistic Fury. Use this tactical ploy in the resolve successful hit step of combat. When a friendly operative with their strikes with a critical hit, you inflict 1 additional damage, which is nice. And then you've got Blood Sense. Use this tactical ploy when a friendly operative incapacitates an enemy operative within its engagement range. Select one other friendly ready operative that is eligible to be activated and visible and within blue of the incapacitated enemy operative. After that first friendly operative has finished its activation, you can immediately activate that friendly operative. So it's 1 CP for group activation, which is really good if you're like in a bunched up combat. The funny thing is, you could effectively spend 4 command points during 1 activation. Let's say you could fight twice, whatever. You can charge, fight, kill someone, spend a CP for Ruthless Rampage, charge for free, fight again. You know, you pop Wild Rage when you do your first charge. And then you do Animalistic Fury, you know, when you strike. So you do an extra critical hit point of damage. And then when you've killed someone before, you know, when you activate Ruthless Rampage, you also do Blood Sense. So when after you've activated that guy, you activate the other Beastman. It is 4 CP, and I'm not saying you're always going to do it, but it's hilarious that you can. I just like that. So we've got your leader. Your leader is movement, 3 white, 2 APL, 3 defense, somehow is a 5-up armor save. I don't know. Maybe the gut plate is really strong with 11 wounds. Because spoilers, everyone also has 10 wounds base, because that's fair. So Corrupted Pistol is 4 dice hit on 4s, 3-5 with balanced and rending. It's fine. Then your Plasma Pistol is hitting on 4s, 5-6. It's just a Plasma Pistol. Your Corrupted Chainsword is 4 attacks hitting on 2s, 4-5 with rending. But you just go with the bludgeon because it's 4 attacks hitting on 2s, 4-4 with brutal, and you want the Plasma Pistol. The main thing about your leader, though, is call the attack. Once in each strategic phase, when it is your turn to use a strategic ploy or pass, you can use this ability instead. If you do so, select 1 friendly operative visible to this operative. That selected operative and all friendly operatives visible and within white of it can immediately perform a free dash. You know, sometimes I just like broken stuff. I mean, I would understand if this was once per game, but it's once per turning point. And it doesn't have to be your leader. It can be anyone your leader can see. This is crazy on Into the Dark. I don't think it's even fair on Into the Dark, and you can do it every turning point, can reposition. After you've won initiative, you can do it in the strategic phase. It's even good on open. Like, this is amazing. And you can do it every turn. So do it every turn. It's great. Then you've got Fellgor Deathnell. He is the guy with the gong. He has the standard profile. So everyone, well, he has a 4-up save specifically because of his gong and 10 wounds. He has a bludgeon, which is 4 dice hitting on 3s, 4-4 with brutal. He's an icon bearer, so his APL counts as being 1 higher for controlling objectives. War Gong, each time an attack with dice would inflict critical damage on a friendly operative within blue of this, you can choose to take normal damage instead. So he basically goes, you know, we all have 10 wounds, and now if you're trying to punch through with crits, you're taking less damage, and we haven't even frenzied yet. And then Gong now, 1 action point until the end of the turning point, this operative gains a 3-up invulnerable save for reasons I don't understand. Maybe he just knows how to, you know, hit that gong really well. I just, you know, there's sometimes when you just see rules and you maybe question it once or twice, but this kill team has so many crazy rules, I just don't question it. I just accept it. Just accept his magic gong gives him a 3-up invulnerable save, and he makes everyone within blue, you know, take normal damage instead. He just pumps out some sick tunes. Just accept it. Then you've got the Fellgor Flux Spray. He has the general profile, so everyone does have 10 wounds basic and a 5-up save. Somehow. He has either offensive profile, which is 4 attacks hitting on 3s, 4-5 with relentless, or 4 attacks hitting on 3s, 4-5 with deflect, and deflect lets you parry first in combat. You have Cleaver Fury for 2 action points. Perform a free normal move, and with this operative, you can move an additional white, so you could go 8 inches, and you can move within engagement range of enemy operatives, but you can't finish in engagement range. Each enemy operative that moves within engagement range of suffers D3+1 mortal wounds. Roll separately. This operative cannot perform this action if it has a conceal order. So you may go, oh John, that's pretty crazy, you know. At most he's going to do 4 damage, but he's going to do 2, and he's just going to run through a bunch of guys. Like he can run through like 4 operatives or something if they're all in a line. I was like, that's really good. But you know what's better? He zigzags out in and out of someone's engagement range. So you pick someone. You go, okay, I'm 1 inch from you. Or I'm 1.5 inches. So I'm going to use Cleaver Fury. I move in an inch. I move half an inch. Move half out. Move half an inch. Move half out. Rolling D3+1 mortal wounds each time because you can. because you're meeting the requirements of moving within its engagement range each time. So you just go move in, move out, move out, move out, move in, move out, move in, move out. You're dead. Like literally, you can legally do that unless they FAQ it. As long as you don't finish the move within engagement range, you know, you can just keep zigzagging in and out. Now it's up to the TO if they want you to move in, then roll the mortal wounds, or do it after you've finished your move. So the TO may go, actually, you have to keep zigging and zagging on this operative and then stop. You can't go zigzag, zigzag. Okay, now you're dead. Now I'll move and zigzag the other. But, you know, probably this didn't come up in testing, but at the moment you can just zigzag into someone's engagement range and hit them for like crazy amount of mortal wounds, which seems fair, but this is a very fair kill team. Then we've got the Gnarl Scar, who has 11 wounds, and he has a bionic fist, because he's Fisto. 4 attacks hit on 3, 4/5 with Brutal. At the end of this operative's activation, you can change its order, so you can switch to engage, ambush, charge. If he kills someone, switch back to conceal. Pretty good. Uncompromising attack. You perform a free fight action with this operative, then a free shoot action with this operative, or vice versa. It can perform that shoot action while within engagement range of enemy operatives, but if it does so, it can and must target an enemy operative within its engagement range, even if other friendly operatives are within the operative's engagement range. So you can charge, use uncompromising attack to shoot and then punch, or punch and then shoot. But it's fine. It's just, it's okay. It's like really good for bonus attacks. So if you randomly kill someone with the auto pistol, you can then fist someone else. You know what I mean? It's really good. Then you've got the Gorehorn, who has a Skull Cleaver, which is 4 attacks hit on 3s, 4/5 with lethal 5 up. Champion, this operative can perform 2 fight actions, so he combos really well with the spend a CP to charge again. Because if you give him +1 APL, he can charge, fight, free charge again for a command point and fight again. Head Taker. While this operative doesn't have a friendly token, each time it incapacitates an enemy operative in combat, roll a D3. That you gain a number of wounds equal to the dice result, and until the end of the battle, add the result to the critical damage characteristics of this operative's cleaver. So let's say you do your charge action, you kill someone, you roll a 3 to heal, like on a D3, so you heal 3 wounds. Your axe now does 4/8 damage. You free charge into someone else and instantly kill them if they're like a guardsman, which is very fine. This is totally okay, but oddly, it's not crazy for this kill team. This is just a really good ability. Then you've got your Herd Gold. He has a whip. So he has an auto pistol, but his Crackhorn whip is 4 dice, hitting on 2s, 2/3, range blue, lethal 4 up with stun. And then his melee whip is 4 attacks, hitting on 3s, 2/3 with lethal 4 up and stun. It's not bad. He has whip control. While an enemy operative is visible and within blue of this operative, and this operative is not within engagement range of any other enemy operatives, subtract 1 from their attack characteristic to a minimum of 1. 1 additional action point must be spent to fall back. So he's really good at tying operatives up and doesn't have to be in engagement range as long as he's by himself. Insight Fury for 1 action point. Select 1 friendly operative, excluding a Shaman or Ironhorn. Visible and within blue, add +1 to its APL. So you can't do this while in engagement range. So he's your comms, but a limited comms. You can't do it when you're Shaman or Ironhorn, but still pretty decent for a comms. At least he doesn't have range red, and oddly, he's one of the more restrained operatives for this kill team. Then you have your Fellgor Mangler, who is technically blind, with 11 wounds. Vicious Claws, so 4 attacks, hitting on 4s, 4/6 Relentless and Tactical Hunter. Each time this operative fights in combat with this weapon against an operative that is not ready, so if they've activated, if you are the attacker, the first time you strike with a crit, you can immediately strike with another hit. So it could be 2 crits and do 12 damage, or crit and hit and do 10 damage. So really good. This operative cannot make shooting attacks, even though he has a grenade on him. I guess someone put it there and he doesn't know. Each time this operative performs a mission action, excluding operate doors, so he knows how to operate doors, I guess, or the pickup action, you must subtract 1 additional action point. So he's +1 mission actions except for doors or picking up stuff. Savage Assault, perform a free fight action with this operative. After completing that fight action, if you're still within engagement range of an enemy operative, you can immediately fight again. You cannot, and you don't have to select the same target. You cannot use the Ruthless Rampage tactical ploy between those 2 combats. So you can't charge, kill someone, then do a free charge and finish Savage Assault. So at least they realized something was too good for this kill team. Overall, a great operative. Then you've got your Shaman, who has an auto pistol and brace stave, and the brace stave is 4 attacks, hit on freeze, 3/5 with stun. For 1 action point, he can do one of 3 different powers. So he's got Mantle of Darkness until the end of the turning point. While friendly operatives are within blue of this operative, and enemy operatives are more than red from that friendly operative, you are treated as having super conceal. So the only issue is you have to activate to do this, and it's till the end of the turning point. So if you're actually doing this to move into a safe position, you're gambling on winning initiative next turning point to keep yourself safe again. It does let you move into safe positions, but I would have preferred it if it lasted until you next activated. But considering the strength of this kill team, I like this limitation. Then you've got Apologetic Rejuvenation. This operative, select 1 friendly operative that doesn't have a frenzy token and is visible and within red. You regain 2d3 wounds. If that enemy operative has incapacitated anyone, and during the battle it gains 6 lost wounds instead. So you basically charge, kill someone, and then your shaman moves up and heals them for 6 wounds. Really good. Then you've got Curse Weapons. Select 1 enemy operative in this operative's line of sight. Then select 1 ranged weapon they are equipped with. Until the end of the battle, they have the Hot Special rule. And each time they would roll a 1, they suffer 1 additional mortal wound for each discarded attack dice. So they would take 4 damage instead of 3. At least it needs line of sight. So if you're concealed, he can't pick you. But if you're engaged, he can. Crazy has unlimited range. And it's just like, it's fine. Like, I guess it's fine. You are probably just going to curse weapon everyone, but your shaman is a good flex piece. Then you have your Tox Horn. He has a cleaver, which is 4 dice hitting on freeze with 4/5. So he has a little dagger, but, you know. Ooh. He has Toxic Blessings. You can ignore any or all modifiers to your APL and not affected by stun. Each time this operative would lose a wound, on a 6-up, you have a 6-up DPR, so it's not, you don't. Then you have Pox Bomb. Select a point on the kill zone within red and roll a dice. On a D6, everyone within white. On a 3-up, subtracts 1 from their APL. On a 5-up, they also suffer 3 mortal wounds. And you can't perform this while in combat. So you literally move up, pick a point. On 3-up, everyone's -1 APL. And then if you roll a 5 or more, they take 3 mortal wounds. Don't know why this wasn't 2 mortal wounds, but it's weird. I like that it's just a more reliable stun grenade, but it probably should have triggered on a 4 because you can just phase it through stuff. But still pretty decent. Then you've got your Vandal, who has a Man Crusher, which is 4 attacks in on 4's 5/5 brutal vicious blows and reap 2. So each time you fight in combat, if you're the attacker, you gain Ceaseless, and if you charge, you gain Relentless, which is nice. Then you have Sweeping Blow for 1 action point. Each other operative visible and within white of this operative suffers D3 plus 1 mortal wounds. You cannot perform this while you have a conceal order. So you can just do this for some reason if people are not within your charge range, so you can move up and do Sweeping Blow, but generally just going to charge people. And then you have the Fellgor Warrior, which you will never take, which has a Bludgeon, which is 4 dice hitting on freeze, 4 forward brutal, or a Cleaver, which is 4 dice hitting on freeze, 4/5. So those are your operatives. Then for your equipment, you can take frag grenades, crack grenades, corrupted rounds, so your auto pistols get rending if you are playing narratively and want your opponents to have a good time. Then you have corrupted weapon. Select 1 bludgeon or cleaver that gains rending. That's not bad, so you can put on your leader. Unholy Talisman for 2 equipment points. This operative gains a 5-up invulnerable save for the battle. Not bad. But the best one is War Paint, because for 1 action point, for 1 equipment point, sorry, you can, for Magic Paint, you can ignore any and all modifiers as operatives' movement and APL characteristics. Because you might have noticed the one weakness this kill team had was that they were all 2 APL apart from the comms. So if you could stun them, you would actually really slow them down, especially if they were frenzied. But for 1 equipment point, you always go effectively 10 War Paint. And you may argue with me, why, John, when you've got crack grenades and all this other stuff. War Paint also ignores movement modifiers. So when you're frenzied, you're injured, right? So your movement goes from 3 white to 2 white. With War Paint, it doesn't. It's still 3 white. So you can charge normally and then fight normally. And you always take it, even if your opponent can't take stun, because you want to be friend. You know, so if they frenzy you, they can't outpace you. It's ridiculous. I don't understand why this kill team that finally had one kind of weakness, because when I was reading this book for the first time, I was like, okay, at least I can see they're weak to APL, like stun shenanigans, okay? And then I saw War Paint and I was like, okay, well, I guess whatever happened, they're just like, no, this team can't have weaknesses. And you always take it. You always take it because You want to be charging at full distance and ignoring APL for 1 equipment point is just crazy. It should have been limited to 1 or something. Like, or 3 equipment points. Just crazy. And obviously you get narrative rules, but yeah, narrative rules, cool. So overall, for this kill team, you know, I was going to do this funny run where I would go like, oh, you know, crazy rage, blow up, say like, you know, just go crazy, like scream and shout, do all this crazy stuff. I can't, because I think I'm so angry at Fellgor Ravagers. I'm like beyond rage. I've gone past explosive anger and I'm just depressed. When I saw this kill team, I was genuinely sad to see how broken they are, and thinking about them puts me off playing kill team, because I won't feel bad if people play them, and I don't want there to be a stigma for people going, oh, you know, you're playing Fellgor's Ravagers, you shouldn't, they're broken. I don't want that, but it's like at the same time, I look at most kill teams in the game. Like on Into the Dark, I don't think anyone can beat this kill team on Into the Dark. Like legitimately, no one can. I think the only kill team that has a chance of beating them in general is probably Void Dancer Troop, just because of Segarach's Jest. And I think it's only them, generally. Like the only way you can beat them on open is if your opponent all starts on engage for some reason. So your opponent has to be playing bad. Because the problem with this kill team, once you set up, like end of turning point 1, if you set up at least 3 simultaneous charges. So what I mean is you've got 3 operatives who can charge 3 different targets. So even if your opponent goes first and kills someone, they're going to be charged by 2 other Beastmen, right? It's really easy to do on Into the Dark and much easier. They have too many movement shenanigans, and it's just Frenzy that breaks them, right? Because me and Charles were discussing their weapons, and we were like, they have daggers, so they can't be 4-5 in combat. They're probably going to be 3-4. Or if they're 4-5, they're going to be hitting on 4s instead of 3s. I don't understand why they're 4-5 damage, because people complained about novitiates being 4-5 damage with their swords, and we thought GW learned from that. But they're 4-5 now, and they hit on 3s, and they have 10 wounds to 11 wounds. The break point on having 10 to 11 wounds is insane. If they had a 6-up armor save, it would be okay. Kind of okay. 10 wounds is still insane. And then you've got Frenzy. So while frenzied, like, you can't die from shooting. The fact you can't die from shooting is insane. That locks out so many kill teams, especially if you're expecting ranged kill teams, like predominantly ranged kill teams, to charge and fight these guys. I have no idea, for example, how Votann are supposed to beat the Ravagers. This kill team is insane. And it's what really annoys me. I can understand Frenzy triggering from being shot, because obviously this kill team has no range for it. But them triggering Frenzy from being charged and fighting in combat feels completely wrong to me. I look at melee teams going, I don't want to charge the Ravagers. I want to shoot them and then run away to give them space so they can't charge me, because I can't stun them because of Warpaint. I can't stay away from them because of Warpaint, so they now ignore the movement penalty from being injured. I don't know how I'm supposed to beat this kill team. I literally have to hope my opponent gives me tons of shots and I kill people turning point 1 and fall back, or I have a double fight ability and I have the durability to kill a Ravager. But then I'm still trading 1 for 1. The fact Frenzy tokens clash so much with the game, they have better reanimation than Necrons, is bad. And I genuinely think, you know, normally I would go, oh, we need to wait at least maybe a month or 2 to see the results. This kill team just needs like an emergency, like, nerf. It's not even funny. It's not even funny broken. These guys are better than Commandos. That you look at Commandos and go, okay, so they both have 10 wounds like Commandos. They both have 5-up saves somehow like Commandos. And they both have 4 attacks hitting on 3s, 4-5, although they have slightly better combat than Commandos. So I shouldn't play Commandos. Just play those guys. Like, it's just so bizarre. So my changes would be Frenzy still triggers from shooting attacks, so it doesn't trigger for melee. And everyone is -2 wounds. Because if everyone was 8 wounds, so, you know, the specialist with +1 wound would go down to 9 wounds, your leader would be 9 wounds, and everyone else would be 8 wounds, that would be a lot more easier to deal with. I don't mind Frenzy triggering from shooting. I really don't. I think the worst thing is this frenzy triggers from you charging them. So you get punished for charging them. I've heard one suggestion from like the other reviewers I was talking to that maybe it triggers frenzy tokens don't trigger if you are not ready. So like if you kill someone who's already activated, they don't frenzy. And I also think, well, frenzy, you can't contest objectives. Because the crazy thing is, at the moment, because of how GW wanted to clarify that end of the battle is simultaneous. So if you are the attacker, so if you win initiative for that turning point, let's say you're the Beastmen player, you're on several points with operatives that are frenzied. So you can go, okay, because I have initiative, I decide when simultaneous orders are resolved. So I am going to claim all the objectives with my, frenzied Beastmen, score my Tac Ops, score the mission objectives, and then calculate all the victory points, then I'm going to die. The flip side, if the other person goes first and they can go, I'll do frenzy dying first and all of that. That still happening is crazy. And as I said, like the zigzagging mortal wounds of death. But they desperately need to address frenzy like immediately, and the kill team needs to go down by 2 wounds. If they were 4 attacks with 3/4, like if they all had -1 damage across the board, I'd be fine with 10 wounds because I'd go like, okay, they're tankier because they don't pump out that much damage, but they all have crazy breakpoints at 10 wounds. They all are super accurate and they punch out so much damage, and they effectively all live twice. The only way to kill them is during their own activation, or you just kill them in their combat phase, or shoot them with like a mine or Overwatch. Like, it's just dumb. And it really, really annoys me. I can't stress this enough that you get punished for charging them if they don't have a frenzy token. It should also be changed that if you're frenzied, you can only die to a hit from shooting if it's a crit, and if you die from any hit in combat. It's ridiculous to me that it takes 2 hits to kill one of these in combat if they're frenzied, or that they need a crit. Absolutely ridiculous. I understand melee teams need to get in, but the fact that melee, like shooting teams can't even deal with this kill team is ridiculous. And I don't know what's going on here. Like, all I can say is we've had the same problem with breachers, where breachers came out way too strong and like the crew were nerfed into the ground. Then we had this mess with shadow votes, where both teams were ridiculously underpowered. Now we have this box where the Votan are pretty good, and then the Fellgor Ravagers are just absolutely insane. Like, I don't understand. How did this come up in testing? Because I know melee teams have a struggle getting in, but I can't understand why a kill team was buffed to this degree, to a point it's legitimately broken, where I can instantly recognize what's gone wrong. And it's just, I don't know. I don't know what's happened. So I'm not going to go like on a crazy rant. I just hope GW fixes this quickly, because every time I think about this kill team, it generally makes me depressed. And it puts me off playing kill team. Like, I just look at this and go, so if I'm playing Into the Dark, I generally can't beat this kill team unless my opponent rolls no hits, but then they've got their built-in Relentless ploy, which is slightly worse than Relentless, but still full rerolls. And I know melee teams need to get in, but melee teams need to like work to get into combat, not just cha-cha slide into combat. Anyway, I could literally rant about this kill team for hours. It really confuses me. Like, I went on a journey trying to think how they got to this spot, and I wanted to communicate this without going like in a crazy rant, and I know I've ranted anyway, but I wanted to break down why I feel they're so broken. It's just like, if they were 8 wounds and they did like either slightly less, if they were all hitting on 4s generally, so when they frenzied it'd be less crazy, and you didn't get punished for charging them, it'd be okay. But in its current state, like especially the war paint really annoyed me, because I was like, this kill team had one flaw, right? Anyone with stun grenades or -1 APL shenanigans could really mess up this team. But then it looks like whatever happened, it probably was identified that they had this weakness and they gave them war paint instead. So I don't know. Like, there's too many broken things with this kill team, and it really makes me sad. Especially if they don't get addressed soon, or / in the next balance day slate in like 2 months. Really depressing. So overall, please remember to like and subscribe as well as comment. Let me know what you thought of this video. Do you like this kill team? Obviously, you know how I feel. Do you feel the same? Do you think I'm overreacting? Let me know. And remember, I've got a Discord you can check out in the episode description below, as well as an affiliate link in Element Games where I'll net you at like a 20% discount if you can buy this kill team, hopefully. And a Patreon if you want to give me some more support. And I'll quickly shout out my patrons. So for my adepts of the crew, I have Tor Bardin, Sam, Robin, NinjaLee83, Nicholas, Nick, Kenzie, John Thomas, Eric, Captain Murder, Dad of Goldens, Average Joe 27, Arthur, and then for my veterans of the crew, I have Samja. So thank you so much. Your support really means a lot to me and helps support the channel. But yeah, I'm gonna relax. Remember, I will have a review of Gallowfall and the Votann kill team, so please check them out if you can. And if I can't stress anything more, if you see someone using this kill team, please don't get upset with them. Please don't go like, oh, you're just running a broken kill team. It's very easy to, but don't. Never blame the player unless they're like maliciously playing badly, you know, like they're trying to trigger you. You know, it's still a game at the end of the day, and I'm just more upset of the state the kill team's in. And I wouldn't just disparage players from using them. Just remember, it's more the people who delivered it than the people using it, right? You can't blame people for buying strong kill teams to play with. That's the important message I want to get across. But until next time, no matter how broken your Space Beastmen are, remember, there should always be a chance to win, hopefully, as long as you can roll a crit.